Yesterday was the year anniversary of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, in which a woman was fatally struck by a car that was driven into the crowd. If you followed the hyperventilating press coverage leading up to yesterday's event, you probably expected to see thousands of hooded Klansmen showing up on horseback in D.C. to commemorate and celebrate the killing. White supremacy is just that prevalent in America, they tell us. It's everywhere. Except it's not. That's a lie. White supremacy is not ubiquitous in America. It's not a crisis. It's not even a meaningful category. It is incredibly rare. You could easily live your entire life in this country without meeting a single person who believes anything like that. Most of us have lived lives like that. I have. In fact, this is a generous, tolerant country. It always has been that. People who tell you otherwise are either delusional or trying to control you with fear, likely both. In the end yesterday, just a couple of dozen people showed up out of a country of 320 million people. They milled around for a while, got yelled at, and left. So much for the Klan rally. What is a crisis in America, and a growing crisis, is left-wing extremism and violence. Our elites abet and encourage it. Our media pretend it doesn't exist. Here, for example, was the scene yesterday in Washington. Antifa lunatics calling for the destruction of the United States of America. Watch. Benny Johnson of the Daily Caller took the time to interview some of the protesters. They freely confessed they would like to torture and kill the president.
What would you do if Donald Trump showed up at the front? Murder him?
I mean, yo, he's America's loser except for head. So, you gotta take him down.
Trump! Wow, look at these dorks. Look at all the dorks. I mean, a guy who has a nose ring like that, a nose stud.
What would you do, sir?
You fucking dorks. Yeah, I said
Meanwhile,
that.
in Charlottesville, protesters screamed at the cops.
Look at all these dorks.
In D.C., they attacked police with bottles,
I
fireworks.
think I need to form like the dork
This is not the
police.
far right.
You don't have any free
Cops
speech.
on motorcycles were pushed as they
right.
tried to pass through the crowd.
Seriously.
Back in Charlottesville, an
It's just
NBC News reporter
look at
was
it.
assaulted by a screaming progressive. Watch this.
You could use your free speech if you're reasonable.
Don't worry about that now. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Amazingly, and it is amazing, NBC News didn't even bother to cover the assault on its own staff. The left did it, so it would have undermined their storyline.
Flat out false. Big question tonight. How does a publisher in this day and age of lawsuits, how do they not fact check any of these claims? How does any self-respecting publisher allow this to go to print? Why didn't they bring in the lawyers? Now, even the New York Times, remember they did a profile, yours truly, with that very handsome, well-thought-out picture of me? Now, I didn't agree with every angle or every point in the article or this hideous, despicable picture of me, even though they had 1,000 other choices to choose from. But on things like this, even the New York Times, I'm not a fan of, they would fact-check twice, facts, not necessarily the commentary. So they did their job. Where's the publisher here? And remember, it was only a few months ago, before that she was fired, Omarosa had nothing but praise for the president. Watch this.
Donald Trump is a very kind person. He has a really good heart. I spend time with him and his children and his family, and you can look at his family and see how close-knit they are. He's not going anywhere. He has staying power. Ask me if I would vote for him. I mean, I'm a journalist first and foremost, but I'm also interested in watching this political process unfold. He's like the Tiger Woods.
Yeah, what happened to Steve
in my
Kornacki
personal
there?
experience, Craig, which is why you
And
have
also
me
your
here.
former RNC
I've
Steele,
never seen
former
Donald
RNC
Trump act
type.
inappropriately with women. He's always been very
MSNBC.
respectful. I stand with Donald Trump because I know that he has an incredible vision for this country, and he will indeed make America great, not just for this group or that group, but for everyone.
And over the weekend, Omarosa released secret recordings of Chief of Staff John Kelly and the general inside the situation.
Well, that's right.
She
They
also
replaced
released a phone
Steve
call between her
Kornacki
and President Trump
and
that
Joy
allegedly took place
Reid.
shortly after she was fired. The question I have
wake
tonight,
up to that
and
every
the
day?
rest of the
I
media
don't
won't
think
even
so.
ask,
Not
how
very
is
good.
it possible for someone to get a phone in the situation room? How How is it legal to secretly record the President of the United States of America? Consequences for those that do such things. But despite all of the very serious flaws and what is now all these claims in the book, the media is now turning and running wall to wall with any coverage, all Omarosa, all the time. According to Newsbusters, the network literally dedicated a whopping 93 minutes of coverage for this former Trump aide. Here's a small sampling of the coverage that just passed the last 2 days. Take a look.
The back and forth between Omarosa and President Trump seems to be getting heated.
Former White House staffer Omarosa Manigault-Newman is out with another secret recording.
Omarosa Manigault-Newman.
Omarosa Manigault-Newman making explosive claims against her
Baldwin,
former
everyone, in her nighttime
was
pajamas.
fired by Donald Trump multiple times. I mean, wherever she goes, Omarosa has a reality show following.
Well, Omarosa made some serious accusations.
Omarosa was brought in, by Donald Trump's own words.
Fired White House staffer Omarosa Manigault-Newman.
We've seen the White House take steps over the past few days to discredit Omarosa.
The Omarosa offensive.
The Omarosa tapes. Yeah, more evidence of Trump derangement syndrome at its best. And while the media is salivating at the mouth over the Omarosa story, they also made up time to hype up this weekend's rally that took place in Washington, D.C. They said hordes and hordes and hordes of racist white nationalists were expected to attend. In reality, you have 24 racist, disgusting, ignorant racist morons that actually showed up. In fact, the counter-protest was filled with Antifa and other far-left demonstrators. It was far larger. The media called them anti-Trump protesters. They celebrated their righteous presence at the rally, but in reality, we have found many were not anti-Trump protesters or anti-hate protesters. They were anti-Trump. Some called for the end of borders, the end of the United States of America. And no, I'm not making this up. Take a look. No borders, no walls, no USA at all. And by the way, other so-called anti-hate protesters even called for the assassination of the president. No, I'm not making this up. Take a look.
What would you do if Donald Trump showed up at the Trump? Murder him? Murder him for people?
This is inciting a riot. Now, I think this is a complete failure of leadership. These poor officers, the rank and file, are put up there like some kind of wall, a symbolic wall that they're doing their job, and all they have to do is just stand there and take it. Don't make contact. Don't rock the boat. Just stand there. We'll do our jobs, and these poor officers have to take this abuse. This is not the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Once they commit a crime, they should actually target that person. They should open up. They should actually move forward, arrest that person, and keep moving.
Dan, I'm sure the thought is, they do that, and then it's all hell breaks loose, and then you have utter chaos. The left gets what it wants. See the police brutality. I feel like they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. I think they did an amazing job over the weekend, that there was as little violence, frankly, as there was. But how do the police feel in this situation? How did the Secret Service feel? You heard those kids threatening the president's life. I mean, they weigh about 120 pounds by the looks of them. But
right, that's my point.
But they are threatening the president's life.
There's nothing to be afraid of, these dorks.
They are. And Laura, listen, I've been there. And let's just be clear, right? Let's just call it what it is. These are disgusting human filthbags. That's what these are. These are dads. These are moms. These are people who go to work every day for a meager salary in a job where there's a strong likelihood, Laura, that they could be killed defending your life. They're not perfect. They're sinners like everyone else, but they commit to a higher purpose. In your job and my job, Laura, that doesn't happen. We don't go to work every night with the thought that there's a pretty good likelihood I could be injured or killed tonight. And what do they have to deal with? This disgusting human filth out there spitting in their faces, and I'm absolutely listen, I just talking before the segment to someone, I'm saying I'm unbelievably salty tonight because I'm tired of this the entire day, the media coddling of who these people really are. Anti-hate groups? These are the very essence of hate groups. These are violent, confrontational, aggressive people who spit in the face and scream at and confront police officers doing absolutely nothing wrong, and ironically, there to keep them safe as well.